Let's do this thing. I'm going to mute you guys. And Christine, I won't forget about that. I'll get back to you, I promise. Figure it out. All right. Let's just come to a comfortable seat. And just as we always do, as you settle in, take a moment to stretch out a little bit. So any little wiggles, anything that just feels good to your body this morning. And then settle into stillness. So eventually just sitting up nice and tall, lengthen your spine, lengthen the back of your neck. Close your eyes. Start to notice how your body feels from the inside out. And start to bring more awareness to your breath. And let's just get started today with 3 great, big, huge breaths together. So start by just exhaling, emptying out. And then breathe in as big as you can. Fill up all the way to the top, hold. And big open mouth sigh to release and let it go. Do that a couple more times. So inhale, fill up. Hold. And if you want to hold longer than me, you absolutely can. So just hold in that fullness. Feel this breath inside of you. And when you're ready, let it go. Sigh it out. Last time. So biggest inhale of your morning thus far. Hold at the top. When you think you're full, sip in that little tiny bit more. Keep holding. As you hold, soften through your outer body, your outer shell. And then when you're ready, open mouth sigh, release. Now seal your lips and start to bring in your Ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And I know you guys are all really good. You can kind of snap into your Ujjayi breath pretty quickly. So whenever you're ready, just start to add a little bit of movement. So you might start from your seat, maybe circling your head, rolling out your shoulders, just exploring your body from your seat. And eventually, we'll meet on hands and knees, so tabletop position. No rush getting there, but you know where to go. Tabletop and then just exploring movement. So cat-cows, hip circles, child's pose. Whatever feels good, and maybe whatever feels uncomfortable, moving towards that. So just kind of getting more in tune with how your body feels this morning, with what's going on inside. And take just about 3 to 5 breaths moving in your tabletop position. So we're not going to be here super long. And then when you're ready, let's turn it into a downward facing dog. So eventually plant your hands, tuck your back toes, lift your hips, press them back. So in downward facing dog, as you move into it, do pay special attention to your shoulders. So rather than feeling like you're pressing back from your shoulder girdle, see if you can keep your shoulders plugged into their sockets. So let your shoulders move onto your back body, and it helps me if I come forward a little bit sometimes. And then once you feel that, press back from your chest, from your heart, not from your shoulder girdle. So you want to keep your shoulders really strong. You want to keep an external rotation in your shoulders so they're moving out away from your ears rather than in towards your ears. And then you can move and explore in whatever way you want to. So maybe pedal out your heels, maybe shake your head yes or no. Maybe shift your weight from side to side. So just feeling into the length, feeling into the space, and also feel into the strength of your shoulder girdle. Feel into the strength of your core as it lifts you up. Big, spacious breaths. Notice how your legs feel, and breathe down the backs of your legs. Send your breath there. Let's take one more great big huge breath into our down dog. And then exhale, gaze to the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop forward fold. Take just a moment here in your fold. Feet hips width distance apart, or maybe a little bit wider. Make sure all 10 toes face directly forward. And then if you want to, you can grab opposite elbows. You can bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. So take just a moment to be in your fold. Notice, where is your weight? Where are you holding most of your weight? So make sure you're not rocking back into your heels. You can have a little or a big bend in your knees. And see if you can lift your butt higher towards the sky. Imagine a rope pulling up on your belly button. Crown of your head towards the ground. Take a couple more deep breaths. If you want to sway a little bit or bob a little bit, go for it. And then next time you breathe in, let's find our halfway lift. So spinal extension. Get all the rounding out of your back. Exhale, fold, and bow. Do that just once more. Inhale, halfway up. So crown of your head reaches forward, tops of thighs press back, sit bones broaden. Exhale, fold. Now from the press of your feet, let's rise all the way to stand. I'm going to reverse swan dive. You can roll if you'd rather. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to your heart center. All right, inhale, take your arms up. And as you exhale, just slow dive down. So follow your breath, let it guide you all the way down, forward fold. Halfway lift with your inhale. So lengthen it out. Exhale, fold back in. Now press into your feet, lead with your heart. Take it all the way up. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and let's do one more round just like that. Half sun salute. Inhale, high mountain. And as you exhale, take your slow dive all the way down. Stick your butt out behind you. Keep your weight forward in your feet. Then let it go. Halfway lift. Inhale. And exhale, bow, refold. Press into your feet. Lead with your heart. Let's rise up. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, this time inhale, arms to the sky. And let's get into our shoulders. Exhale, hands behind your back. Either interlace your fingers or grab opposite elbows. So either one of those is perfect. If you can clasp your hands, go for that. And then roll your shoulders. Everybody, roll your shoulders back and down. If it's available to you, start to reach your hands back away from your body. So if you know that variation where your palms press, you can take that. Or if that feels like too much, you can let your palms come apart, but just try not to lock out your elbows. From here, option to add a little baby back bend. So lift your heart up. Reach your knuckles down, press your hips ever so slightly forward. Take one more inhale. Keep your clasp, exhale, hinge at your hips, dive down, forward fold. Stay here for about 3 breaths, working the opening in the front of your shoulders. So bend your knees a little bit or even a lot. Relax your neck. See if you can lift your hands, your knuckles higher, and maybe lift your butt a little bit higher too. You can shake your head yes or no. So reach your knuckles as high as you can and then maybe even forward ever so slightly. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your low back, release your clasp, inhale to a halfway lift position, so lengthen out. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank position. Pause here in your plank pose, find your strength. So really push the ground away, draw your belly button in and up, back of your neck is long, take a big inhale, and then exhale, just lift your hips up and press them back, downward facing dog. See if you can press back from your chest, not so much your shoulders. Inhale, come forward, high plank, and exhale, lift your hips, press them back, down dog. This time, inhale, forward to your plank position. You can lower to your knees if you want to modify. We're adding a push-up. Exhale, halfway down, strong arms, strong belly. Inhale, press back up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Take it back. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, high plank position. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, press up. And exhale, stretch it out, down dog. This time, inhale, come forward to your high plank. Slow as you can go all the way to your belly. Spiderman Cobra. So bring your hands out wide off of your mat. Lift to your fingertips, elbows face the sky. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, dip your left shoulder down and twist to your right. Inhale, come back to center, lift your heart, tone your belly. Exhale, other side, so twist to your left, dip your right shoulder down. This should feel really good. Go one more time to each side. So inhale through center, exhale to twist. Move with your own breath. Move at your own pace. Good job. Eventually, an inhale will bring you back to center. Your heart lifts. Exhale to let it go. And then bring your hands to frame your mid-ribs. Let's press up to tabletop, hands and knees. So from hands and knees, I want you to practice for a moment plugging your shoulders into the sockets and then letting them come out of their sockets. So if you look at me really carefully, this is all that happens. In, out, in, out. So play with that for a moment. It's like one of those push-ups you sometimes do that are they're just lap push-ups. So just shoulders in, shoulders out, shoulders in, shoulders out. Next time you have your shoulders plugged in, so your chest comes down, your shoulders plug in. Now see if you can keep that. Feel what that feels like. Different than this. This. Keep that. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. So it's just a different way. It's a more sustainable way of being in your down dog. You're not just hyperextending into your shoulders. You're in integrity in your body. So you've got your shoulders plugged into their sockets and you're pressing back from your heart. You can even play with that same movement in your down dog if you want. So as you really press down through your hands, you feel your shoulders come out of their sockets. You can press back further, but you lose that muscle energy. So feel what that feels like. Shoulders in, shoulders out. Shoulders in, shoulders out. It's a little adjustment. I don't even know if you can tell I'm doing it right now, but play with that. Bring awareness to it. So just all these little tiny things that we usually don't even notice. That's our yoga. The more we practice, it becomes those little tiny micro adjustments that are big aha moments. Let's take one more big inhale into our down dog. And then as you exhale, gaze to the top of your mat, step, tiptoe, or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived, spinal extension, breathe in. Exhale, let it go, breathe out. Root through your feet. Let's take it all the way up. Inhale, stretch your arms as high as you can. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, inhale, take your arms to the sky. And then same thing, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers or grab opposite elbows. Roll your shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades squeeze your spine. Now, before you start to reach your hands back away from your body, we're going to find a balance. So right foot is your base. Lift your left knee up, standing staff with your hands behind your back. From here, we're going to move into an airplane pose with our fingers interlaced. So slowly, left heel towards your left butt cheek, hinge at your hips, and then extend your left leg back. Woo! Once you got your left leg extended back, little baby cobra in your heart. See if you can start to work that opening in your shoulders even more. So maybe lift your hands up higher towards the sky. Keep your heart lifted. Keep your gaze slightly forward, back of your neck long. And then back leg strong. Spread through your toes. Good job, you guys. Work the opening in the front of your shoulders. Take one more round. End of your exhale, nice and easy, low lunge. So you can release your clasp, bring your fingertips to the ground, step your left foot to the back of your mat. Bring your back knee down gently. If you need extra cushion, you can fold over the side of your mat, use a blanket or a pillow. We're going to take half splits, half Hanumanasana. So tuck your back toes under and either bring your hips back to rest on your heels, so it's half screaming toe pose, or you can scoot your front foot forward, keep your hips more over your back knee. Both variations, your front leg is straight, well, as straight as you can get it, and then your right toes face up and flex back towards your shin. Press down through your heel, and rather than trying to push your heel forward, pull your heel back. So like you're trying to really stick your right butt cheek out behind you. And then if you want, you can work it deeper by folding over your front leg. So aim for your heart going past your knee, forehead towards your shin. Keep your right toes flexed. Keep pressing down through your heel and pulling back energetically. So remember, you're trying to stick your right butt cheek out behind you. Take about 3 more deep breaths, lengthening through your right leg. Nice job, you guys. One last full round. And then slowly release that. Come back to a low lunge position. So bend your front knee, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, and we're gonna meet in Crescent Lunge. So as you're ready, strong through your legs, rise up. Just take a moment to find your stability. Hug in with your inner thighs, tone through your low abdominals. Find your breath. Focus your gaze, soften your face. Let's take one more big inhale here. Exhale, hands behind your back, interlace or grab opposite elbows. It's up to you. Roll your shoulders back and down, shoulder blades hug your spine. See if you can start to reach your hands back. Now, final option, hover your back knee. So back knee bends and hovers. Lift your heart up. Reach your knuckles down. Keep a tone in your belly. Legs strong. Breathe. Good work, my friends. Take about 2 more breaths. I know it's a lot. Soften your face. Open through the front of your shoulders, front of your heart. Next time you inhale, come back to a crescent lunge. So release your clasp, arms to the sky. Step your back foot forward just about a foot or so, setting up for pyramid pose. So I personally like my feet on 2 train tracks with all 10 toes facing forward. So take a moment to adjust. You've got your arms reaching up, hips square. So right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. Take one more inhale. Now as you exhale, little cactus with your arms, little baby back bend, lift your heart. Keep your low abdominals strong. Inhale, re-extend your arms. Exhale, now listen, hinge at your hips, reach your arms back. So kind of like a chair plane variation or an airplane variation. Arms reach back, heart reaches forward. Now imagine again that you're trying to stick your right butt cheek out behind you, so lots of length. You can choose to stay here, or if you want to interlace your fingers, go for that. Eventually, forward fold. So heart reaches past your right knee, forehead towards your shin. Fingertips can come to the ground, or if you want to, interlace your fingers behind your back. It's totally up to you. Big, deep breaths. So we took kind of the modification of this pose. Now we're in the full pose. So really work the length of your right leg. Keep lifting your right butt cheek up and pressing the top of your right thigh back. Each exhale, draw navel to spine. See if you can dive a little deeper, fold a little further. You've got about 2 more deep breaths. Nice work, my friends. Now listen, we're going to move into a half moon pose slowly. So fingertips on the ground if they're not there already. Crawl your hands forward so your spine lengthens and your back leg just floats right up. Keep your right fingertips on the ground, or if you have a block, a book, a water bottle you're using at home, awesome. Bring your left hand to your left hip and start to peel your left hip open so it stacks on top of right. Maybe extend your left leg, your left arm to the sky. Your left leg is strong and powerful, so press with your left foot. Stay here, or option to move into the bound variation. Bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Allow your left shoulder to open. Wherever you are at, you've got about 2 more deep breaths. So your fullest expression in this moment, give it everything you've got. Make sure you're breathing. Nice work, my friends. If you're holding onto your left foot, ever so slowly, release and re-extend. One last inhale, everyone. Exhale, forward fold. Nice and easy. Left foot comes down next to right. You can give your right leg a nice little shake out. Inhale, halfway lift. Feet about hips width distance apart. Bend your right knee a lot, right fingertips to the ground, and then left arm to the sky. So opening up just like we did in our half moon a moment ago, but now we've got both feet on the ground. Pull your left hip towards the back of the room you are in, or towards the back of your mat. And get your left leg as straight as you can. Stay rooted through the inner edge of your left foot. Take about 1 or 2 more breaths. And then end of your next exhale, we'll just unwind and switch to the other side. This side should feel really nice. So big bend in your left knee, right arm to the sky. Pull your right hip back, stay rooted through the inner edge of your right foot. Try to lengthen the back of your right leg as much as you can. Breathe, big spacious breaths. Good job, my friends. One last round. Reach a little higher, twist a little further. End of your exhale, unwind. Halfway lift, realign one more time. Breathe in. Now listen, exhale, clench your hands, step back to plank pose. Pause in your plank. We're gonna roll onto the baby toe edge of our left foot. So side plank, left hand is your foundation. You can bring your left knee down if you want to modify. Lift your hips as high as you can. Feel the strength in your left side abdominals. Option to reach your right arm forward. Option to float your right leg up. And if you do, lift your hips even higher. Now breathe as you press the ground away. Big spacious breath. Soften through your outer body, through your outer shell. Take about 2 more rounds, your fullest expression. Soft through your face. End of your next exhale, plank position or modified plank. Take an inhale at the top to prepare. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, heart lifts, back bend of your choice. And then listen, as you exhale, lower back down to your belly. All right, we're going to extend our left arm Straight out to the left, palm face down. So going into shoulder pigeon, turn your head to the right, roll over onto your left side. And you choose what variation you want to take with your legs, with your right arm. So if you're taking care of your low back, fetal position with your legs is probably your best option. Otherwise, it's completely up to you. So I've got my right knee bent, right foot comes down behind me. My right arm is reaching up and then back, like I'm trying to get the tops of my hands or the backs of my hands to touch. You can wrap your right arm around your back. You can take a quad stretch, grab hold of your right foot, hand to big toe pose, extend your right leg up. So lots and lots of options. Just choose what will best serve you. Take about 3 or 4 more slow, deep breaths. Make sure your head is relaxed either on the ground or on a prop, a pillow or a block. So you don't want your neck to work. You want to relax your neck, soften your face, and then huge deep breaths here. Good job, friends. Take one last round. And then roll back onto your belly. So just rest on your belly for a moment. Turn your head to the other side and reach both arms just down by your sides, palms face up. Take a couple breaths down into your low back and your low belly. Now listen. Bend your right knee, right heel towards your right butt cheek. Lift your left arm and reach it back. Bring your right arm straight out in front of you, so your right arm's reaching forward. Exhale all the air out. And then as you inhale, lift everything up. So lift your right arm, lift your left leg, and if it's available to you, reach back and grab hold of the top of your right foot with your left hand. Hug in with your inner thighs. Lift through both sides of your chest, both sides of your heart. Spread your right toes as you hold them in your hand. Take 2 more rounds. Breathe down into your belly. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Let your left shoulder open. Keep the back of your neck long. End of your exhale, let it go. Turn your head to the other side now. So now you're looking over your right shoulder again. Windshield wiper your shins. So bend your knees. You want your knees at least hips width distance apart or even a little wider. And let your knees fall from side to side. Good work. Let that go. So just set your legs, your entire legs, back on the ground. Bring your hands to frame your mid-ribs. Press up to tabletop, hands and knees. And from here, we'll take thread the needle posture. So left arm first today. Inhale, reach your left arm out to the left, up to the ceiling, as high as you can reach. And exhale, thread your left arm through. So reach as far as you can, then come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder and the outside of your head. Any variation you want to take, if you want to extend your right leg out to the right, if you want to wrap your right arm behind your back, whatever feels most beneficial for you, breathe into your back body. Slow, deep breaths. Spacious inhales and exhales that take you all the way to empty. Breathe into your back body, especially so the space in between your shoulder blades, increase that space with your breath. The space in between your back ribs, your low back, your kidneys. How much space can you create there? How much awareness can you bring into your back body? Last couple rounds. If you do happen to have your right hand or your right knee lifted, bring them both back to the ground slowly, mindfully. And then everybody, next time you inhale, unthread your left arm. Reach it all the way up. Take an extra breath here. See if you can reach even higher. Open up more through the left side of your chest. And then left hand comes down. If that was helpful to you at all, a couple times, plug your shoulders in. So all you're doing when you plug your shoulders in is letting your heart melt. So your shoulders come onto your back body. Heart melts down, shoulders come onto your back body. And then keep that. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Shoulders stay plugged in. You'll press back from your chest, from your heart. If what I'm talking about is sounding like another language, you're like, I have no clue what you're saying, that's totally fine. It honestly took me like 5 years to understand that little tiny adjustment. So if next time we're in person, if you want me to show you in person, it might be a little bit easier. So just bring it into your awareness. Now you have got it kind of in your repertoire, and maybe someday it clicks for you. It starts to make more sense. So no big deal if today it's just not resonating. We're just bringing in more awareness. Let's take one more big inhale into our down dog. And as you exhale, gaze forward. However you want to get there, travel to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift with your in-breath. And exhale, release. Root through your feet. Take it all the way to stand. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okie dokie. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. So before you start to get really intense with opening your shoulders, just let your hands kind of rest against your butt or your low back. Or if you're grabbing opposite elbows, that's perfect as well. So now work with your balance. Left foot roots down, right knee lifts up. Hug in with your inner thighs, focus your gaze. We're moving into our airplane variation. So slowly, with control, right heel towards your right butt cheek, and then extend your right leg back as you hinge at your hips. Once you've got your right leg extended back, your heart slightly lifted, see if you can work that opening in your shoulders a little bit more. So start to lift your hands with your fingers interlaced. Lift your hands up towards the sky. Hips stay square, back foot is active, spread through your toes. Little baby cobra in your heart, back of your neck long, fullest expression. Take one more round, one more great big huge breath. End of your exhale, low lunge. So slowly, release your clasp. Hands to the ground, right toes to the back of your mat. And then we'll move into our half splits. So bring your back knee down gently. You can fold up your mat or grab extra cushion if you need it. You choose what variation you prefer. So back toes tucked under, hips to your heel, front leg straightens, or hips more over your back knee. Walk your front foot forward a little bit. Both variations. Left toes point straight up and then they flex back towards your shin. Pull your left hip back like you really want to stick your left butt cheek way out behind you. Hinge at your hips, reach your heart forward, and then maybe work deeper into your fold forehead towards your left shin. Keep pulling your left hip up and back. Keep breathing huge, spacious breaths. Remember, with your left heel, you're not pushing your foot forward. You're energetically pulling your foot back. Lengthen the back of your left leg even more with each breath. So even if nothing changes physically, just find a little bit of softness, energetically soften around the pose. Last couple of rounds. Big, deep breaths. We're not rushing. Good work, my friends. End of your next exhale. Let's come forward again into a low lunge position. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, setting up for our high crescent lunge. Rise up when you're ready. So powerful legs. Front knee over front ankle, high on the ball of your back foot, inner thighs hug in, belly tones, chest lifts. Reach through your arms, soften through your face. Breathe slow and steady. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace or grab opposite elbows. Shoulders back and down. Shoulder blades hug your spine. If you can, start to reach your hands back. Final option, back knee bends and hovers. So like a turbo lunge, reach your heart up, lift through your sternum, reach your knuckles down, open through the front of your shoulders, breathe. You don't have to take your head way back. So if you feel like you're straining through your neck, then gaze a little more forward. Puff up through your chest, open through your heart. Take one more round. Maybe your back knee kisses the ground. Inhale, crescent lunge, reach your arms up. Straighten your front leg and step your back foot forward just about a foot or so. So setting up for pyramid pose on this side. Set up your stance the way you like it. I like my feet on 2 train tracks, all 10 toes face forward. Pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Squeeze through your inner thighs. One more inhale, reach up higher. Exhale, cactus your arms, baby back bend, bottom tips of shoulder blades squeeze, belly tones. Inhale, re-extend. And then exhale, airplane variation. So hinge at your hips, arms reach back, chest comes forward. Pull your left butt cheek back. If you want to interlace your fingers here again, option to do so. You do not have to. Take a moment. Find length in your low spine especially. Stick your left butt cheek further out behind you. One more inhale. Exhale, dive as deep as possible. So dive forward and down. Forehead towards your shin. If you want to keep fingers interlaced here, go for it. If you want to release, bring your fingertips to the ground. Perfectly fine. You can also use any props you might have at home. And if you're like me, my left leg feels like it's shaking a little bit. That's not a bad thing. It just means you've met an edge. That's a good thing. So be with that. Breathe into it. Soften around it. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths. Use your breath to work the pose. So every exhale, draw your belly button in and up. Dive a little deeper. Fold a little further. Last round, empty all the way out. Then we'll move into our half moon. So, fingertips to the ground if they're not there already. Crawl your fingertips forward so your spine lengthens and your back leg just floats right up. Left hand stays on the ground or a prop. Right hand to right hip. Peel your right hip open, let it stack on top of left. Eventually, right arm to the sky. Back leg strong and powerful. If you would like, option to bind. Bend your right knee, reach back, grab hold of your right foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Heart open. Breathe. Your fullest expression. Give it about 2 more breaths. Soften through your face. Unclench your jaw. If you are holding onto your right foot, ever so slowly release and re-extend. Everybody, one more inhale. Lift your right leg higher. Exhale, forward fold. So nice and easy. Right foot comes down next to left. Give your left leg a little shake out. Walk your feet out to the width of your mat this time. Keep all 10 toes facing directly forward. Inhale, halfway lift position. Right fingertips come down under your chest. Left arm to the sky. Twist. This time, if you can, keep both legs as straight as possible. So it's almost like you're in a slightly wide-legged forward fold, and then we're adding a twist here. Option to wrap your left arm behind your back and grab hold of the top of your right thigh. So let that left shoulder open. Take about 2 more rounds. If you want even more, right hand can grab the outside of your left ankle. Spine stays long, legs stay long. End of your next exhale. Let's switch sides. So unwind. Start with your left fingertips on the ground, right arm to the sky. Your butt reaches back, crown of your head reaches forward. Stay here or wrap your right arm behind you. And then if you want, left hand to the outside of right ankle. Couple more rounds. Big deep breaths. Use your exhales to work your twists. Nice work. End of your next exhale. Let it go. Heel toe your feet back in so they're hips width distance apart. One more time. Halfway lift. Realign. Breathe in. And exhale. Plant your hands. Step back to plank. Pause in your plank pose. Side plank, right hand is your base. Roll onto the baby toe edge of your right foot, left arm to the sky. If you want to bring your right knee down as a modification, please feel free. Otherwise, your hips are lifting super, super high. So as soon as you let your hips drop, there is so much more weight in your wrist and your shoulder. So we want to use our right side obliques as much as we can. Lift your hips higher, reach your left arm forward, maybe float your left leg up. Fullest expression. Soften around it. 2 more deep breaths. Stay present. Notice, feel, and observe. Relax your facial muscles. Relax your jaw. 1 more inhale. Exhale, plank or modified plank. Take an inhale at the top to prepare. Exhale, lower down. Back bend of your choice as you breathe in. So make it feel good for you. And then let it go. Come back down to your belly. We've got shoulder pigeon with our right arm this time. So right arm reaches straight out to the right, palm face down, gaze to the left, and roll onto your right side body. You choose the leg variation you want to take, variation you want to take with your left arm. Make sure you can relax your head either on the ground or if you need to, grab a pillow or a block or something to put underneath your head. You want to be able to relax into this and breathe into this. Soften your face and see if you can take slower, longer, deeper breaths, just about 2 or 3 more. Good job, you guys. Very end of your next exhale. Let's roll back onto our bellies. Turn your head to the other side. So now turn your head to the right. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face up. Take a couple huge breaths into your low back. All right, now listen. Bend your left knee, left heel towards your left butt cheek, and then just lift your right arm and reach it up, maybe slightly back. So you're not grabbing your foot yet, you're just getting ready. Take your left arm forward with your palm facing down. So left arm forward, right leg back. Right arm is reaching back, left knee is bending, heel towards your butt. Exhale all your air out. And when you inhale, lift everything up that you can. So left arm lifts, right leg lifts. If you can, grab hold of your left foot. If that's too much, just reach for it. If you're holding your foot, hug in with your inner thighs. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot. Try to lift evenly and equally through both sides of your chest. Breathe down into your belly. Back of your neck is long. Spread your toes. Take one more round lift. End of your exhale, let it go. Rest your head now to the other side. Windshield wiper with your shins. So bend your knees. Breathe down into your low back. Let your knees sway from side to side, slow as you want to go. Good work, my friends. Go ahead and set your legs back down. Hands frame your mid-ribs. Press up to tabletop, hands and knees. All right, we've got thread the needle with our right arm now. So next inhale, right arm reaches out and all the way up. And exhale, thread your right arm through, reach as far as you can, then come down to rest. You choose where you want to go with it. So if you want to extend your left leg out, if you want to wrap your left arm behind your back, your choice. Breathe into your upper back, mid back, low back. So really focus on creating more space in your back body. Bringing more awareness into your back body. Taking slower, deeper breaths. A couple more rounds. Exhale all the way to emptiness every single time. And if you do happen to have your left hand or your left knee lifted, bring them both back to the ground. Next time you breathe in, unthread your right arm. Reach it up as high as you can. Stay for an extra breath. Open up more through the right side of your chest. Reach higher. Set your right hand down. Plug your shoulders in, so let your heart melt. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. All right, take just a moment here. Notice how your body feels. Slow, deep breaths, reconnect. Next time you inhale, take your right leg to the sky. Open up your right hip, so bend your right knee, squeeze your outer right butt cheek. You can absolutely stay here. In fact, I think I'm going to stay here today. If you want to flip your dog, go for it. Give yourself a couple breaths in your three-legged back bend. If you're with me, you're just opening your right hip, really squeeze your outer right butt cheek. Flex your right toe, see if you can lift your right knee a little higher. Those of you in the back bend, meet us back in a three-legged down dog. So everybody, next inhale, just extend your right leg as high as you can. Your hips can be opened or closed, it's up to you. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, pigeon pose. Right shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down gently. So take a moment. Pull your front hip back, back hip forward. So plug the femur bones into the sockets. And then as you're ready, you can start your bow. Humble pigeon. If there's a different variation of this posture that you would rather take for yourself, that is absolutely fine with me. Take about 5 to 7 very slow, deep breaths. Even as you're bowing forward in your humble pigeon, just very slightly pull your right hip back and up. So you want to keep your right femur bone hugged or plugged in to your hip socket. So as soon as we just sink into our joints, we're losing the stretch of our muscles. A lot of people who have hypermobility in their bodies, it's so much easier to just sink into your joints and it looks like you're going super, super deep into the pose, but you're actually kind of missing the entire point of the pose. So you want to keep the femur bones plugged in so you can stretch the muscles around the joints. Sometimes it feels like you're coming out of it a little bit, and you might be, but you're just coming out of it so that you can stretch in the way that we want to stretch, so you can be in integrity in your body. So you can actually get out of the pose what it is meant to give. Take about 3 more rounds. Exhale out your mouth at any time. Nice work, you guys. End of your next exhale. Slowly, we will ease our way back up and we'll take it back to down dog. So you can get there however you want to. I'm just going to tuck my back toes, take my right leg back and up, give it a nice little shake out. So any movement that you want to take on this side, and then regular downward facing dog, walk it out. If you would like to move through a vinyasa, please feel free. Reconnect to your big, deep Ujjayi breath. Next, inhale, take your left leg back and up. Peel your left hip open, bend your left knee, squeeze your outer left butt cheek, stack left hip on top of right. Stay here if you want, or option to flip, wild thing or flip dog. So 3-legged back bend, couple breaths there. If you're with me, you're staying in your hip opener. Squeeze your outer left butt cheek, flex your left toes, see if you can lift your left knee even higher. Stay rooted through both hands, strong through both shoulders, hug in with your right inner thigh. If you're in the back bend, meet us in a 3-legged dog, so everybody extend your left leg super high. Big inhale. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And you know where to go. Exhale, pigeon pose, nice and softly. Left shin forward, set your body down. Pull your left hip back and up, right hip forward and up. Femur bones plug in. And then bow forward when you're ready. If there's a different variation you'd rather take, you always have the choice. Big, deep breaths. Ever so slightly, left hip pulls back and up. You can scoot your right knee back, your back knee back a little bit more if you want to go deeper. Take about 3 or 4 more breaths. Exhale out your mouth if you want to. And I'll leave it up to you. So when you feel pretty much even on both sides, start to find your way back to one last down dog. I'm going to do the same thing. 3-legged dog, gentle shake. And then regular down dog, walk it out. Any movement that calls to you, you're welcome to take. If you want to take one final vinyasa, please feel free. Good job, my friends. Everybody take one last big breath into your dog pose. And then end of your exhale, set your knees down gently. So listen, we're going to go into puppy pose before we go down onto our backs. Knees about hips width distance apart. You can leave your toes tucked or untuck them. Keep your hips right over your knees. Walk your hands forward. Rest your forehead down. Once your forehead is resting down, now start to press your armpits towards the ground. So press your forearms down and work your armpits towards the earth. If it feels okay on your neck, you can gaze forward, press your chin down. So just very slightly gazing forward. And then imagine you want to press your chest towards the ground as well. Take about 2 more breaths. So big stretch for your shoulders. If you're pressing your chest down, breathe especially into your back body, your upper back, backs of your shoulders, back of your heart. Good job. Let's come back up, tabletop. Find your way down onto your back. So I don't even care which direction you're facing or how you get there. Just do it mindfully. Once you're on your back, hug your knees in. Gentle rock from side to side. And if you took puppy pose with your chin on the ground and it did bother your neck, sometimes I like to bring my hands behind my head and just ever so gently pull up with my arms, so kind of lengthening the back of my neck. Just an option. Only do it if it feels right for you. All right, my friends, let's set our feet on the ground with our knees bent. Tee out your arms or cactus your arms. And then walk your feet out wide, windshield wiper your knees from side to side. No hurry, so go slow. Feel that mobility in your hips, in your low back. Breathe down into your hips and your low back. Next time your knees fall to the right, keep them there for about 3 rounds. And if you like the variation with your outer right foot on the outside of your left knee, you can take that here if you want to. Gaze up or over your left shoulder. And breathe. And then switch to the other side in your own time. So let your knees fall to the left. Outer edge of left foot to the outside of your right knee or thigh if you would like. Breathe down into your belly. I'll just leave it up to you. When you feel pretty much even on both sides, bring your knees back up. Keep your feet out wide, but let your knees fall in towards each other. Take about 2 or 3 breaths, just letting your low back open up, your pelvic bowl open up. Breathe all the way down. If this feels really good, sometimes I think this feels really good because this is not my natural way of being. My natural way of being is my toes rotating out, external rotation. So this is internal rotation of your inner thighs. Your femur bones are rolling in. Your low back is opening up. So if this feels good, stay here for the remainder of class. If there are any more poses, stretches, movements that you want to take, give yourself about 5 to 10 rounds to move through them. So one last inversion, one last hip opener, heart opener, anything that calls to you. Happy baby pose. And then slowly begin settling into your final relaxation. And as I have been doing, I will stay with you through Shavasana and I'll bring you out of it in just a few minutes. If you would rather turn off your computer, turn off your Zoom, and just take Shavasana for as long as you want and close your practice for yourself, I am not offended by that at all, so feel free. And as you settle in, I have a quote for you. I read it recently and I loved it, so I hope I can remember it and not slaughter it. But it's by one of my students, has a teacher named Muji that she loves, so I've been reading a little more of his stuff. So it's by Muji. And he just said, "Who gave us the idea that we should know how to live? Does a cloud know how to rain? Does a tree know how to grow? Does the wind know how to blow? Does a road know where it is going? Please do not know how to live. Let your life spontaneously unfold before you, one moment at a time, and let joy flood your being." So for these last few moments, you do not have to know how to do anything. You do not have to do anything at all. You simply get to just be. So let your breath be effortless, let your body relax, and give yourself these last couple moments not to know anything at all, to simply just be. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, sigh it out. Slowly ease your way to either side. So move in your physical body gently, and then when you're ready, roll to either side, fetal position. Use the strength in your arms to guide yourself up into a seat. So right back where we began. Sit up tall. Notice how your body feels now. Maybe a little bit different. Maybe there's a little more space inside. Maybe energetically, emotionally, you might feel a shift, even if it's just tiny. So notice how you feel. Notice how you are. Close your eyes. Exhale in your breath. Inhale, circle sweep your arms out, around, and up, just gathering in all the energy from our practice, all your efforts, bring it all into your heart, hands to heart. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day, turning your computer on, which is sometimes the hardest part, and joining me on this online space. It means so much to me. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.